Hello, beautiful people. Uh, Today, I wanted to talk about how my brother's death changed my life. So, my brother died in 2007, and at that time, he was 19 years old and I was 17 years old. And he basically came back home and he was having some issues with his bowel movements. And so, after a while, finally, it kind of got diagnosed that he has colon cancer. And at that time when I was 17, I mean, I'd heard of the word cancer and I knew about this disease, but like obviously as a 17-year-old, I wasn't really in the habit of thinking about like death and disease and all of those things. I had like other priorities in life. And so yeah, when he got diagnosed with cancer, I thought that okay, maybe it's a big disease, but my brother's a pretty big guy as well. Like he was like 6 feet 2 inches, and huge guy, and and I thought, okay, maximum he's going to be ill for like a few months, and then he's going to be all right. And but instead, what happened? Like I watched him deteriorate and just go from bad to worse. And yeah, 4 months later, he died on the 4th of June 2007. And that changed quite a few things in my life, because like from a pretty early age I was actually very curious about the nature of reality and the purpose of life and all of those things. And now that this happened, you know this question became even more intense. And like I really needed to understand that, why am I here, why are we here, what is all of this, what is going on, uh, what's the point of all of this. And well, at that time there was a book that somebody gifted to my parents. It was called Same Soul Many Bodies by Dr. Brian Weiss. And personally for me, this book gave me quite a lot of like it answered quite a few questions that I had. And yeah, that was one thing. But apart from that, uh, some of the other significant changes that happened in my life is like I had this really strong realization that there are no guarantees in life, right? And by that, what I mean is that the way society is structured and the kind of things which are told to us as children, we are kind of made to believe and think that yeah, you have to like postpone life, like everything that you really want to do, like you had to postpone it because that's what was happening in school. And as a 17-year-old, like that was the only experience that I had, that go to school, prepare for college. Like over here in India, like my parents wanted me to do engineering. So was more like so if you're doing engineering, like IIT is like a really good college, and then you have to like prepare for it so that you can go and study there. But everything that you really want to do and things that you're really curious about and things that are actually exciting to you have to suppress in order to try and do things for apparently a better future, right? So that, and that's the promise that is kind of being sold to you all the time, that like bear with all of these things at this moment in time, and later you can enjoy your life. It's like the same story is kind of told to you for your 10th board exams, for your 12th board exams, and then for your engineering entrance exams. And obviously later on the same thing kind of continues. And what I realized is that the underlying logic of sorts is that we are supposed to believe that, or behave as if like I'm going to live for like 60, 80, 90 years or something like that, uh, but what I realized with my brother's death is that there are no guarantees in life. Like, who can guarantee anything? Like, how do you know that you are going to be around day after tomorrow? Like, anything could happen. It's like disease is obviously one way of going, but there are a million different ways that one could kind of exit this plane of existence. And so for me, this was something which happened so close to me that I had this really deep, like, realization that there pretty much are no guarantees in life. There is no way that someone can uh, yeah. But then I kind of like stopped buying into this thing that was being pushed on to me from society and whatever, and I started to question things a lot more, because and what happened is, the more I started to question things, the more I started to like think for myself, and the more I started to realize that most people around me are not really questioning things which are being told to them, and they simply accept the norm and then carry on. And as a result of that, like, I would say that my life has diverged considerably from my peers, in a sense. Like uh like so yeah, some of the things that I kind of did is, like, there was this other concept that I came across, saying that, like, the past is gone, it's like, and why bother about that? It's like, you can learn the lessons from your past experiences, which is a very valuable thing to do. But apart from that, there's no point in dwelling in the past, because it only brings more suffering. And likewise, with respect to the future, right, the best future is not generated by being constantly dwelling in the future. And here Jamila is back with us, right? And Jamila is the most blissed out creature that I know of, yeah, and there she is. Yeah. So yeah, so likewise with the future, like, what I realized is that the best future is not generated by being constantly anxious about the future, right, or by sacrificing the present, and so, as a function, what happened is, one of the things that I started doing is, I started engaging with my here and now reality a lot more, right? And because of that, one of the things that has happened is that the quality of my life has changed quite a bit. And yeah, mm, I have been having, like, let me explain what do I mean by the quality of my life changed a lot. But maybe before I get to that, I can just kind of like give some backstory to that, which is that when I got into my first job right after engineering, like, very soon I realized that this is not life. Like, I cannot be reduced to a machine, who has to simply go to an office and sit in front of a screen for 10 to 12 hours in a day, and you know just keep doing whatever is being told to me, and then I just repeat that cycle. And there is basically no difference between like week 1, week 2, week 3, week 10. They're practically all the same, it's like, and then you have like a pittance of a weekend. And then it's like I was earning money, and then it's like the money was piling up in my bank account. But what I realized very quickly, like within the first 2 months of being there, is that, man, this cannot be life. I mean, like, I cannot call this living in any way whatsoever. And so, but the thing is, I didn't really have the courage to quit, because, like, the way society is organized now, like, you need money. But eventually, after some time, I did muster up the courage and I quit my job, and I started exploring life otherwise. And many things have happened after I quit my first job. And, like, but that was like a really, really important step. It's like moving ahead of fear. And so, one of the things that has really changed in my life as a function of this is that in terms of when I say the quality of my life, obviously, as you can see clearly, I live in a very beautiful place, right? And this whole space is my home, right? And it didn't like happen suddenly. It's been a journey, to get here. And what I realized is that for a lot of people, they are kind of in this illusion and they never really get out of it. And by the time things happen, it's already too late. What I mean by that is like people end up working in these jobs that they don't enjoy for probably 30, 40 years of their life, and thinking that, eventually when I retire is when I'm going to live and do all the things that I really want to do. But what I noticed is, especially in the cities, like people who have not been in the habit of living, which is the doing of that which you really want to do, by the time you retire, then your personality itself has transformed so much that you do not have the ability, either physically or psychologically, to even pursue the things that you find uh, engaging for you as a person. All of those things are kind of gone by that time, and it's too late, right? And so for me, the way I see my life now is like each day is unique. And there is absolutely it's there is no concept of like batches and chunks. It's not like week 1 and week 10 are the same. In fact, like this day and the next day and the day after that, like everything is so different. And currently I have no conception, like mostly, like right now for example, I don't even know what day it is of the week, right? And because it doesn't really matter, like each day is its own day, and it starts, and then like I flow into whatever is the most, whatever I need to be doing or whatever I feel like doing in that particular day. And as a result of that, one of the things that has happened is like I've had such amazing experiences in the last few years that I feel a deep sense of satisfaction, like extremely deep sense of satisfaction, where like I'm quite content already in life, and everything that comes to me at this point is just a bonus, right? Like I don't feel like there's anything that I have postponed for a future thing, like oh, finally when I'm 40 I will be doing that, and when I'll go there and do that. And no, it's like I don't have any such things. It's like I'm quite peaceful with existence. And like at this moment I can say that whenever the universe were to decide that okay, like Vishnu in this form of existence, like your time is done, it's time to leave, I'm perfectly satisfied and I'm perfectly content and happy, right? And I would say that's quite a thing that's happened in my life. And it happened because of engaging with life, like in this moment, rather than postponing life, right? And this fundamental way of operating, I would say this fundamental transformation happened essentially because of my brother's death. And I realized that there are no guarantees, right? And in some sense, like when we postpone all kinds of things, making these random assumptions that oh, as if we're going to be around for like 60 years, 80 years, or whatever, it's quite stupid. I mean, you might be around for like 80 years, and I'm not saying that you do really dumb things. And like obviously, like if I am able to experience a certain quality of life, I have not been doing dumb things. But in fact, what I have been doing is I have been in the habit of thinking about many aspects of life. And I examine every aspect of my life and I look at it quite carefully. And what I realize is that the way society is encouraging us to organize our life is oftentimes quite counterproductive. And it's just that most people that I notice who simply engage with society in that particular way without really questioning or wondering that, hey, is this the smartest way to do things? Right. And for me, I have not, for quite a while now, I have not been in the habit of simply accepting whatever is told to me by any society or authority figure or whatever. No, I will think for myself. I will try things out. I will see how it works out, and then I will realize certain things that I couldn't think about when I originally thought about it. And now I will try out a next iteration. And that way is like I just try and try again and try again and try again. And the result of that is like the quality of life, which is basically the everyday experience that I'm having from moment to moment. Like the quality of that has phenomenally improved. And at this moment, I feel quite blessed and fortunate to be on this plane of existence for however long the universe decides that I should continue to be in this plane of existence. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to share with you guys for today. uh, Thank you so much and peace. See you guys in the next one.